Hi guys, so today I'm going to talk about another topic on narcissism and narcissistic family dynamics. This topic today is actually going to be on the mental health of the scapegoats after narcissistic abuse, okay? And this is basically I'm going to share a little bit of my story, but also what other people have said on the tubes and other podcasts I've listened to. My dog's acting really weird, by the way. I'm just on a walk. So, guys, mental health. It's extremely important to have good mental health, not only to live a healthy and happy life, but also to have a healthy and productive adulthood. Whether it be going for jobs, making new friends, interacting with family members, mental health is extremely important. And as you all know by now, and it's mental health has a bad rap. People do not want to talk about it or even be truthful about if they've experienced it, because there's so much shame associated with having a mental health illness or issue in life. And isn't that disgusting that is the way mental health is viewed, talking about it and sharing honestly and open about it. But anyway, guys, let's get onto the topic today, and that is that scapegoats or truth seekers are more prone to mental health issues because of the narcissistic abuse that they incurred in their earlier life. All right, so narcissists need victims. They need to get narcissistic apply from somewhere or something, because they absolutely lack the ability to generate their own good emotions within themselves. All right, so they need to make something or someone feel bad or have negative emotions, so that they look at that and say, oh, they experience negative emotions, or they are negative people or persons, or it doesn't matter if they're people, persons, or even animals. Narcissistic individuals just need a target. But they will look at that target and say, oh, because they are experiencing bad emotions, that must mean that they're less than us. We're more healthy than them because they got issues, you know? When in reality, they're the ones who's caused those issues rather than those people having the issues in the first place. Do you see where I'm coming from? They need to create that effect in other people to feel or to feel superior, and feel others' adoration for them being more healthier or good looking or whatever, okay? So, the way this has played out in my life is actually really sad. I had some, but not a lot, of mental health issues when I was an adolescent. So in school, I actually had a fairly good upbringing, but I was always the scapegoat in my family. So I had absolutely no concept of boundaries. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I attracted a lot of narcissistic best friends. Not even friends, man. They're just assholes, jerks. But I attracted them in my life because of who I was and my lack of self-esteem. Let's fast forward to uni. So I'll just premise, in adolescent, I didn't have a lot of mental health issues, but I did have, I would say, a little bit of depression, but not crazy. Okay, not to what I experienced later in life. So, fast forward to uni. I studied a course that was really long, and this was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, was to attempt this course, okay? And it wasn't because it was a hard course, it was because of the role that the social dynamic played in that environment. It was extremely toxic. I've always been a very empathetic person, a very positive person. And even though I was positive, I was empathetic, I absolutely did not have self-esteem. All right, so I wouldn't necessarily try and make friends or speak up. And basically this dynamic played out in uni that basically, I keep on saying basically guys, sorry about that, but I was exposed to this toxic environment because of who I was, all right, and where I was raised, okay? So basically what happened over these few years that I was at uni was I attracted a lot of negativity, a lot of, you could say, abuse. And this abuse was sometimes very, very covert in the form of others ostracizing me, leaving me out, leaving me socially isolated. It was also even like, I forgot the word, guys, but opposite of covert, it was also blatant at times with teachers, with peers, insulting me, saying things like, you know, you're not specifically, you know how it works, guys. Like, it wasn't directly said to me that you're stupid or you don't have friends, but they would say invertly in a covert manner. And basically this little poison drip over time really caused, well, it basically developed into the mental health issues for myself. So I actually developed extreme anxiety attacks. Okay, I had 3 to 4 major panic attacks where I couldn't face anyone. And I remember them to this day, just how severe they were, just how impactful they were, these anxiety attacks. I also had depression as well during this time. And look, everyone goes through a lot of shit, but as a scapegoat, as a truth teller, we go through more. I would even say more than other people, because we attract so much bullshit. All right. So in that time that I was at uni, I saw a counselor for about 3 or 4 years or whatever it was, and we would talk about conditioning in these counseling sessions, and we would talk about, okay, how can you increase your confidence with other people? And then she basically gave me excerpts to read, like little you could say quotes and things to study to basically condition myself not to be afraid of people and stuff like that and interactions. The honest truth was, and I can see it now because I've done so much work on myself, that it was actually, I wasn't the problem. I wasn't the problem in this environment. And I know so many other people who actually went through uni and they were targeted as well. And some of these places, if you've read the psychology of influence, there's bigger things, or there's basically a background of why bullying occurs. And it's not necessarily because that individual is different, all right? It's because those people in that environment need something. They need a punching bag. And I think in hospitals and in like working environments, you could say, in this book that I read, this is basically what happens in hospitals. The doctors will pick on the nurses because they are regarded more highly and shit. Sorry guys, my dog's sniffing another dog. So anyways, guys, so to kind of get my drift about this environmental impact that's going on with these workplaces. So the environment is actually set up by the people who are at the top of this social pyramid, and that might be the professors or in a uni, or it might be the doctors in a hospital. And basically these doctors will treat other people poorly, specifically employees who are under them or that they're in the job of. Okay, the other people who will see this interaction and say, okay, this is the norm, this bullying type behavior is the norm of this environment. And then basically everyone will catch on because this guy is deemed the highest, all right? This asshole person, this jerk is deemed the highest in this environment. Everyone will catch on to the behavior and start copying him because they want to be liked or they want to get promoted. And basically the cycle will repeat and repeat over and over again because of who's in power, all right? So how this works out in a place like uni as well, it's the same thing, all right? But it might not be teachers, it might be someone who's very popular, okay? So someone who's very popular, they might bag out or they might abuse, and this might be a gaslighting type of abuse, but they might talk about someone inappropriately or just call them a nerd or, that kind of thing. Everyone in that group will see this popular person do this behavior, okay, and basically mimic it because they want to also be deemed as cool or popular. Do you get where I'm coming from, guys, here? So in my example, I do not blame myself for the way I was treated, gaslighted, bullied. I actually blame the environment, all right? But guys, I do take some responsibility because that the saying that your vibe attracts your tribe. My vibe, because of what I had been through, I was sorry to swear, guys, but I was really, really fearful of others. I had a low vibration. I was always looking out for people who were being mean to me and who were making fun of me. And I would look at every single opportunity to say, okay, this teacher's like that or that person's like that. When in reality, they were actually not really like that a lot of times, but it did occur because of my vibe as well. So you can say that it's kind of 50-50 here. It was also the environment, but it was also how I viewed things after a while. And that kind of kept the cycle going to a sense. So anyways, guys, in terms of how this applies to those who have been narcissistically abused and tormented over time, our self-esteem and our lack of boundaries attracts all this stuff, all right? So the real problem isn't the mental illness. The mental illnesses and depression, they don't just occur out of nothing. They have to come from a seed. That seed was the abuse that came from the narcissist in the first place. Do you get where I'm coming from here, guys? So that lack of validation, that lack of emotional support, that lack of love that they first endured when they were young creates a very poor self-esteem and self-image. Okay? And then that poor self-esteem, self-image, and that need to be validated is carried on when you get older. And therefore is that, sorry guys, I'm not wording this correctly, but therefore that is what attracts bullying, narcissism and narcissistic individuals, which therefore will cause mental health issues and illness. Okay, guys? So do you see how this all comes around and is all kind of connected and related to each other? But anyways, guys, I just wanted to talk about my experience. I'm not going to identify who I am at all. This is just a way for me to talk about my issues. And as you can probably tell, I've done a lot of studying and I've done a lot of kind of awareness training to know that it wasn't my fault, but it was because of the environment from my parents, from the uni environment, from toxic dynamics. This is what happened, okay? But guys, I hope that this has been helpful or useful to you. And I'm just going to premise, like, not all depression, anxiety is caused by narcissism or narcissistic dynamics. Sometimes it's caused by genetic factors, more so. Sometimes your parents had it and you might have an awesome life, but you also develop it later, So there's a lot of different ways someone may get it. But I'm just saying my example, okay? Anyways, guys, hope you have a great afternoon, all right? And I'll catch you in the next podcast and YouTube video.